Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And hello beautiful people, hello. And I am always so happy to do girl talks, and in case you don't know, my name is Victoria and welcome to my humble abode. Alright, so before we start this video on high school do's and don'ts, there's two things that you need to do right now. You know what, should I even say it? Please go down and subscribe to this channel, because it will help me out so much and it costs you absolutely nothing. But you know what you will get? Quality content. Quality content. And of course, if I'm not holding you to this one, if you reach the end of this video and you like this video, then you can give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Alright, so let's start. Alright, so these are a list of things that I have well thought out that I did and didn't do during my high school days. So, like, let me just give you a little summation about me. I mean, like, the latter parts of secondary school, rather, because I know I'm saying high school, secondary school, but so everyone can relate high school, secondary school. We're already talking about the same thing. So the latter part of secondary school for me, I was a bad. Ask anybody except those girls who haters, and they still are. Anyways, yeah. So a lot of high school, I was a bad bitch. We'll go with levels to this, right? Because when I was in secondary school, I really evolved a lot. I changed a lot. There were people who influenced me to change a lot. So lecturers, some of my higher age colleagues and so on. I had lots of people who influenced a lot of things in me and who mold and shape the person that I am today. And a lot of that molding and shaping took place in high school, and I really grew a lot from high school. In secondary school. All right. So one of the first things that would be my advice to someone in secondary school right now, or just starting off secondary school, is to ask a lot of questions. If you hear about something that you don't know, ask a question about it. Like, this is the time that you supposed to be a sponge, absorbing everything, absorbing what's good and what's bad, and then making your decisions. This is the time for you to explore. This is the time for you to build your character, build your personality. Like, primary school was nothing. That was like you in a shell. Secondary school, high school is the time that you really come out of your shell and start to get a feeling or idea of who you are, or who you want to be, who you want to grow to be. So one of my first advice to someone in secondary school is to ask a lot of questions, especially when you're in class. There are no stupid questions. There are no stupid questions, there are no dumb questions, only dumb people. And in order for us not to be dumb, we have to ask questions, we have to get to know stuff, right? So my first advice would be, ask a lot of questions. Always participate in class. And I was the type of student whereby if I didn't participate in a class, I wouldn't learn, I wouldn't understand the topic. Like, as soon as something puzzles me or I don't understand something, I would raise my hand and say I don't understand this. Like, I would have most of the times make the class about me, but I'm not telling you to try and take up all the attention. I'm just saying, if you don't know something, don't leave the classroom without knowing it. That's what the teacher is getting paid to do, to teach you. And if you're leaving the class not satisfied, then she's getting paid, or he or she's getting paid for absolutely nothing, right? So always participate in class, always be active, always ask questions in class. In secondary school, I didn't like maths, but I never liked maths, right? So in secondary school, I found like I never used to participate in the math class, just because I didn't like the subject, and I failed maths when I wrote CXC. Of course, I did back and I did really well. I got a grade 2, but that's not the point. Because I didn't like the subject, I didn't participate in the class, and I ended up failing. I mean, I could have passed, I could have winged it, because there were other subjects that I didn't really like so much, like accounts. No, I actually like accounts. Like, let me see. Like French, I didn't like so much, but I used to participate in the class and I passed it. So one of my first suggestions to students is to participate in class. Alright, so the next thing, and this will help you build your character so much and help you with your career after you leave secondary school, help you to develop yourself, and this is to try new things. By trying new things, I mean like extracurricular activities. I was a person, if you ask anybody, I love extracurricular activities, whether it be sports, whether it be elocutions or pageantry or like anything I could put my hands on. Any time someone, the teacher says, who wants to volunteer to do this or who wants to volunteer to do that, I would always raise my hands. I would always try to participate in every little aspect. I remember the first time I ever participated in anything in school, it was a poetry competition, and I was in form 2. I was about probably like 13 going to 14, and like, what was it? I think the teacher gave everybody this poem to learn, and she didn't tell us why we had to learn it. She just gave it to us to learn, and like I went home and I was really excited about learning this poem because it was something new to participate in, something I've never done before, right? So I went home and I put my all into it, and then a week after, when she lined us up all and she noticed that I was the one saying it the best because I had recited it in the back of my head. I remember, I still know that poem up to this day, Be Glad Your Nose is on Your Face by Jack Patalski. Yes, so, and that kind of kicked off things for me in the extracurricular activity realm. And from then I just kept on participating in different things, and I learned that I like public speaking, I like speaking, I like talking to crowds, I like motivational speaking and all those things. I learned that about myself through just one incident of happening to be involved in a poetry competition, and I went on to do much more things, represent my school and so on. So it's always good to participate. Your thing, you might not ever, if you've never done something before, you sitting down here right now wouldn't think that's something for you unless you try it. So who knows, I may be good at gymnastics, but I would never know I could be a good gymnast if I don't actually try it and fail, or try it and do really well. So always try to participate in school activities so that you could build your character, you could shape your future, and you can learn the things that you like and the things that you don't like, the things that you are good at and the things you aren't good at. Because a lot of the times, things that you think that you wouldn't be good at, those are the things that you happen to be good at, and things that you would want to try, want to participate in, you happen to not be so good at that. So it's always good to explore. You're young, this is the time to explore. And of course, you have to keep a balance between your extracurricular activities and your academic work. Alright, and this next one, all of the things you should and shouldn't do in high school or secondary school, is kind of linked to the last point I make in finding out what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like. And this can be in so many different things rather than just school in itself. Finding out what you like and what you don't like could be in building your own style, building the kind of your character, building your kind of attitude, what you would take from people, what you wouldn't take from people, the type of person you are. Like, finding out what you like and what you don't like can take so many forms, right? And for me, whilst I was in secondary school, I learned that I was a really neat person. Like, I like to see things structured, and I learned that about myself through, again, participating and interacting with different things. I learned that I don't like friends. I don't like a lot of friends. Like, I would always be the person who would always be uncomfortable in groups of friends, and I couldn't have known that unless I had mingled with other people. Then for me to learn, well, I don't like friends. I don't like a lot of friends. And I wouldn't have been able to know that I'm the type of person who doesn't like being in front of crowds and speaking in front of people unless I had tried it, right? So this is also a time to find out what you like doing and what you don't like doing. And it's not just finding one thing that you like and then doing that alone. It's more so continuously doing different things and then actually listing out what I know I don't like this, because at a young age you really don't know yourself that much. You may think you know yourself, yeah, but you really don't know yourself that much, and you wouldn't be able to foresee situations and say, oh well, no, I definitely wouldn't do this, or I definitely would do that in this situation or in that situation. So that's also a time to decipher what you like from what you don't like, what you may do from what you wouldn't do, so that you can consciously know yourself. You should not do whilst you're in secondary school or high school, whatever, is don't ruin your reputation. I cannot stress this enough. Do not ruin your reputation. I know it would feel at the moment whilst you're in secondary school. It will feel like, oh, I'm grown, I can do what I want to do, I just want to live my life, I just want to be young, make my own mistakes, learn from my own mistakes, and so on. But really, in the long run, it really doesn't pay out all that much. Let me tell you why exactly I'm saying this. All right, for example, one of these points that I have listed down here is, don't make friends with peers who are delinquent. They will only bring you down with them. A lot of the time, happen to we have this way in us that we like to grow with friends, and just because I know you from preschool and we went to the same primary school, we went to the same secondary school, doesn't mean that we have to be friends, forever. Doesn't mean that we're supposed to be friends. Doesn't mean that we're in any binding relationship or contract. You outgrow friends, people outgrow friends, and I've outgrown a lot of friends, and that's okay. And a lot of times you may grow up in the same community with somebody, or may go to have gone to the same preschool, same primary school with somebody, but you'll end up being two totally different people, and that's okay. And I know sometimes we may think because we have all that history with that person, we grew up together, that means we have to stick together, we have to have each other's back, and so on. So a lot of times when we see these people, especially doing bad things, we think, oh well, that's my friend from day one, so I have to have his back. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you see that friend going smoke weed by the beach, or going behind the school and doing whatever it is that they do behind them, you don't have to go, because it will only hurt you in the long run. It will stain your reputation. When people see your face, that's what they're going to remember. As long as somebody see your face, oh yes, I saw him smoking once. That one time I saw him smoking. Or they might not have even seen you smoking, they just saw you around a group of people who was smoking, so they already say, as soon as they see your face, they see marijuana, they see smoking. I'm not saying that it's bad to smoke, but I'm saying in high school you are building your reputation, and you are building the type of person that people will see you out when you go out into the world, when you go out into the field. People watch you. You'll be surprised how many people are watching you, especially when you go into school, the type of person you are. I've had my mother tell me things about people. Oh, this girl, remember when she was going to school, she was a very nice girl, always quiet, always by herself, doing her work and so on. And then she would tell me things like, oh yes, I used to see this one on the road, always loud, always making noise, and so on, right? So people are always watching you. People remember your face. They may not even know your name, but they will remember your face, and they will be able to attribute it to something. So my number one, another major tip for people who are in secondary school or high school, is don't ruin your reputation. Your reputation is everything. No matter what you do, or no matter what you're trying to do, always think about your reputation first. How would this look for my image? That's the number one thing you should always think about. Okay, so I want to I'm young, I want to have fun and so on, so I'll go by the beach with my friends. But then when you go by the beach with your friends, you see they're doing the deeds and whatever. How would that look on your reputation? Bad? Okay, well, I'm going to excuse myself from that little situation there, because I'm not going to give you all that 5 minutes or that 30 minutes, or how many other minutes to ruin my reputation, right? All right, so another major point, and this one is a bit tricky, but it's not having a boyfriend or girlfriend in school. Like, I think I've said this before on my channel, but it makes no sense, y'all. It makes no sense to have a boyfriend or girlfriend. How many times do high school relationships actually last? Let me tell you what high school relationships actually can be good to build your character, but not that type of character building. You don't necessarily need it whilst you're in school. You need it after you graduate from school. Let me tell you what high school relationships will do for you. They will let you fall behind on your work, your schoolwork. They will let you fall behind on your SBAs. They'll make you fall behind on your grades, unless, like, I'm not even going to say unless you have a partner in school, right? That you both want the same thing, want the same good goals and so on. But 9 out of 10 times, it really just drains you more and put pressure on you more. I know it's fun to see everybody, your peers all coupled up and things like that. This, oh yes, that's her boyfriend, whatever, that's her girlfriend and so on. But 10 times, that's not the person you're going to marry. That's not the person you're going to have children with. That's not the person you're going to grow old with. You may not even be speaking to each other after high school, after secondary school, So 9 out of 10 times, it's really just keeping you back. And then when you get older and you leave high school, You may think to yourself, if I didn't have this boyfriend, I may have been studying more. I may have worked harder. I may have gotten better grades in CXC or my exams and so on. Yes, so yeah, I didn't have this one listed down, but it's not having a bad relationship with your teachers. Having a bad relationship with your teachers can really ruin you. Yes, they are being paid to do a job. Yes, they are going to do their job, but it's like if when you build a bad relationship or you give your teachers attitude and so on, and you build a bad relationship with your teachers, it's like they never put the extra foot forward. They just come in, do what they have to do for you, and get out. They never put the extra foot forward. I've had teachers that I had really good relationships with, and they always put the extra. They always make sure that they put the extra foot forward for me. And so you don't have to be a teacher's pet, or you don't have to be under your teachers and so on, but it's always good to maintain respect for your teachers. I keep on wanting to say lecturers. Always make sure that you maintain a good respectable relationship with your teachers, and that you respect them, that you do what you're supposed to do, and that you'll be able to have that teachers will be able to have the feeling of wanting to go the extra mile for you and for the class, even if it might not be the entire class or just for you. They would give you extra work to do because they want you to do better. They would give you small tips or advice on how to study and what books you should read and so on, because they want you to overall be a better person. Yeah, so I think that's the last one. So if you did come to the end of this video, I really do hope that you enjoy it and that you will give me a thumbs up on this video. Of course, it will help you. This video, I hope, did help you, but giving me a thumbs up may not help you in any way, but it'll help me to know what type of content that my subscribers like. And if you are going to be a subscriber, then you should go and do that right now if you haven't already. And thank you for coming to the end of this video, and goodbye.